Speaking of things that I'd really, really, really like to call BS on, and we'll get to this a little bit more in our morning rush segment. It's almost too easy to look at a first-year head coach, as you can right now with the Philadelphia Eagles, and look at Nick Sirianni with the way he's conducted his press conferences, with kind of how he carries himself as a high-energy guy that's just like, yeah, I'm just high energy, just to excuse a lot of the things that I say. Just forget about it for a second here. I'm just real high energy. I really love everybody, right? And all that. It's easy to look at that guy and go, oh, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. A lot of people ripped him apart after his opening press conference. And my stance on Nick Sirianni has been, all right, I want to see him coach a football game. I want to see him put together a game plan. I want to see him call plays. But I'm not going to make fun of the guy, but I am going to have fun with him. And I still am holding out all judgment until most judgment until I see him coach a game, call plays, design a game plan, all that stuff. But it's almost too easy to say, oh, that guys aren't buying into this. Guys are losing to this guy. And you see on the NFL Network a story come out saying just that there are guys in the locker room that don't have faith in Nick Sirianni. Lane Johnson came out and vehemently denied that and said, all right, let's name the names. Who are the people out there saying what this guy's saying? Who are the people out there saying that they doubt Nick Sirianni? Because I can tell you on this very show, we interviewed Jason Kelsey about Nick Sirianni, and he said the same thing that a lot of other guys are saying, that they love the high energy, they love what he brings to the table, and he has a lot of guys buying in already. I always say that you could file a lot of things under, oh, well, what's he going to say? Is he going to tell you at a microphone to a camera that Nick Sirianni's losing the locker room already? He's never had it. Guys are doubting him. No, of course not. But when guys take that extra step, like Jason Kelsey did with us a couple of weeks ago when we were at the Athletes for Care golf outing, he just flat out told us that he liked what he was bringing to the table here in Philadelphia and took the next step saying that he's been high energy, a lot of fun, and guys are buying in. Like, taking the next step is really what the difference is. And then for this story to come out, and then Lane Johnson, a leader in the locker room, to come out as well and say, yeah, this is all BS. How could you say this about a guy who hasn't even coached a game yet, more or less? That makes me think, yeah, there's a lot of BS here. Maybe, and this is where, because again, where there's smoke, there's fire. What I went back to was Joe Flacco did an interview a couple of weeks ago with 6ABC. And he talked about Nick Sirianni and some of the weird stuff he'll do to kind of keep the locker room light, to keep guys competitive, to do, I don't know, keep guys interested, I guess. And Joe Flacco flat out called some of the exercises, the drills, whatever, that Nick Sirianni has the team doing corny. And he said that's part of it. And he goes, I've been on enough teams, this is Joe Flacco speaking, I've been on enough teams where that's just kind of what you do, where you got to keep guys interested. Sometimes you got to do corny things so that it's still like, yeah, this is stupid, this is corny, but we're all doing this together. And I know this is going to invoke an awful name and awful memories for people, but Chip Kelly, when he got here, guys bought in. They did it with an eye roll, but they bought in. And they won 10 games, back-to-back seasons. They made the playoffs the first year, as we all know. And I remember guys at practice rolling their eyes, running these crazy Chip Kelly drills with the music blaring and one thing after another. It was like an assembly line of football is what I remember watching Chip Kelly practices, and that's what it felt like, an assembly line of football. And I remember some of the veterans looking over at the media being like, do you believe this? Like rolling their eyes and everything. But they bought in and they had success, at least to make it to the playoffs. This guy in Nick Sirianni, I'm sure is not necessarily doing the same stuff as far as how he organizes a practice, but in terms of doing things that are a little out of the ordinary just to keep the group together and have those team building exercises. Yeah, it can be corny. Yeah, it can be dumb. But you look around and it's like, hey, we all did that together. Anyone who's even been through a corporate training session, you always know that there's stupid stuff like the trust falls, right? Whatever it might be. I'm sure that's all Nick Sirianni is doing. And maybe the reporter, and this is where the smoke comes from, maybe this is where the fire comes from, but maybe the reporter heard that and goes, oh, yeah, these guys aren't buying into what he's doing. When really all it was a harmless acknowledgement that what they're doing is weird. Maybe that's all it is. Or maybe it's Nick Sirianni's terrible, should be fired already. I would doubt that. I think some of these guys want to give him an opportunity at least before they just say, yeah, but I don't want this guy here.